Hey there, Cheesemeisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod After Dark. I'm Jeff, and everything I do is not going right. Everything is not going right. I don't know what to do. I really don't. And joining me on the other end of the internet, my host.
I'm Leslie, and I'm not performing until there's blacklight.
Oh, you know what? You got to have standards. You know what I mean?
Right?
The weekend. Yeah, I mean, look, it's the fucking weekend, for God's sake. He has to,
I
know.
know.
It reminds me of was not this is going to be a I don't even know what episode tonight, Cheesemeisters, because my brain is a pile of pudding. But there's a bit from Steve Martin's old stand-up where he's asking for a blue spotlight on his banjo. He's like, "Could I just get a blue spotlight? I just need a little blue spotlight. Is a lighting guy not here?" Okay. I mean, okay, look, I'm sorry, I'm pissed. I mean, I come out here and perform, and I just want a little help from the backstage crew. Is that so much to ask? Excuse me. No, it's a whole. So maybe the weekend was doing his Steve Martin. Not going on until I get a little blue light here on the banjo. This week, Cheesemeisters, we are watching Uncut Gems, the 2019 nothing but good decisions all around masterpiece. Directed by Benny and Josh Safdie, starring Adam Sandler doing his best I could just be John Turturro and it would be fine. Kevin Garnett, Julia Fox, Idina Menzel, Lakeith Stanfield, and a boatload of people talking over each other.
Oh my God.
We are watching, right? We are watching this in conjunction with season 3, episode 23, Duke's Bad Boy. Our spelling connection is John Amos, who is, his neighbor. Not the one that lets him go take a shit in his room, but, the one from...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was in an episode of The Love Boat. So, Admiral Fitzwallace to you West Wing fans out there. So we watched this movie this week because this is what happens if that guy driving Duke's car really doesn't like anybody. Like this is Brandon does not have a gambling problem when viewed in comparison to Adam Sandler in this movie.
Oh my God.
It is. These are, how, you're not a sports person quite so much, but,
sorry.
Like there's a difference. It's fine. There's a difference between like watching the skill level of an NBA game and a college game, right? Like you can just tell it's different. Same thing with pro football, college football. There's a difference in the grade. Nothing greater than the difference between like English Premier League soccer and American college soccer. That's the gulf we're talking about here between Adam Sandler's gambling and Brandon Walsh's gambling. It's
wow.
It's not even the same fucking game. Like there's no fucking ballpark neither. Like this is different. So I'd seen this movie. You had not. Tell me what you thought.
Oh boy. Well, I took it a little personally that this started with a colonoscopy.
I forgot that it started with a colonoscopy.
Like,
so,
they do the zoom in and, it starts turning into something else. And I forget at what point I realized it was a body. And then all of a sudden I was like, this looks familiar. Wait.
I know that colon.
I wish mine was that clean. I needed like an ulcer or something in one of them at least. Like,
yeah, another
my next ulcers.
Oh yes, definitely give them names. I agree with that.
Um, so that doesn't answer my question. But okay, I was I was baffled. Um, and I'm glad I was warned about how like stressful it is, because that
Mm-hmm.
definitely would have, I think that would have bothered me more had I not known. Because it's definitely
Mm-hmm.
stressful. It was also really annoying. Like, I
Mm.
I have a hard time watching people consistently make bad decisions over and over and over and over. Like, by the time, I'm spoiling it early, by the time he gets shot, I was relieved.
Really? Okay.
Oh my god. I was like, thank God, it's done. His family is free of him.
Mm.
Like, I
Yeah, but
wouldn't
they're
want to
for
be
all that
any.
money too.
This movie made me realize why, as a New Yorker, you just should never get involved. You hear people yelling on the phone or whatnot, keep moving. This is, I hate that. I don't like that ignoring other people crap, but like, some scary shit going on out there, and I don't want any of this.
I look, just stay out of the Diamond District, and I think you're all right. I mean
this
that.
this movie, I wrote down within the first couple minutes, I wrote, New York is so extra. This is so true. Just
Yeah.
the, like, I'm in theater. I've read Mammoth, I've seen Mammoth, and that's a lot of talking over each other. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of modern theater adds that. They have it written in the script so that it can be worked on sooner if it's not happening naturally.
Mm.
This was on a whole other level. This
Yes,
had
it
to have
was.
like these four. So, I don't know if you know, but uh, in a musical script, when you're just reading the lyrics, it'll have people in columns next to each other if they're singing at the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah, that had to have, I mean, that's the only way I could have read this script.
Yeah. No, it had to, because and I don't know how many columns you can fit on a piece of paper, but it wasn't two people.
No.
Like there was, it was never just two people talking over each other. It was two people trying to have a conversation while seven other people had eight other conversations, all at the same volume.
I can't handle that. It stresses
Yeah,
me out when one person talks over another. I'm like, can you just wait?
I know. Wait your turn. Um, yeah, I So as I had mentioned, I saw this movie in the theaters when it came out. Um, Only because I'd heard it was good. I heard Adam Sandler was really good in it, and he is. He's fantastic in this
Yeah.
movie. And I think this is not a it's not a hot take that not all of Adam Sandler's movies are great. Like some of
Yeah.
them are very funny. Some of them are called Jack and Jill. Um, it's but when he takes on a dramatic turn, he tends to be quite good.
Mm,
And this was next level. Like, like no nothing that you had seen from him could prepare you for the fact that he could do this,
right.
because he was amazing start to finish. So, I'd heard it was good. I heard he was good, and I went to see it with a friend of mine, and we were like the only people in the theater because we went on like a Wednesday night or something,
Oh.
because we're fucking grown ups and do what we want. Damn it, see a movie on a Wednesday. Don't tell me, tell you. Um, and because the theater was not crowded, we didn't have to like sit shoulder to shoulder. So we sat a couple of seats apart, so we could kind of spread out or whatever. And the movie gets going, and like I'm certain that this didn't happen until after the colonoscopy. But so like 5 minutes into the movie, I'm leaned forward like this in my seat,
Interesting.
and I look over, and so is Gregory, and both of us were like this the whole movie. Like it never let up.
No.
And by the end of it, like I was I was shocked that he was killed. Um was not I wasn't relieved that he was I was relieved that the movie was over. because I was fucking tired.
That too.
But like I was so surprised by that ending. And like deflated, you
Hmm.
know, because this movie, it builds to such a fever pitch crescendo where it is like he's cheering at the bet that he made. He's telling the people who are locked in the thing how much he's winning and it's going to work and this is going to be great. And cut to his girl who's taken the bet to make and then having to hide with the rich guy in his penthouse so she doesn't get murdered by the other people. And like it just keeps ratcheting up and then he fucking wins. And it's like this guy who's done nothing but make shit decisions and make you go, don't do that, about 10 times in this movie. He finally gets it. And you're like, all of his crazy shit finally paid off for him. And then, and could not have been more surprised.
We were too. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't see that coming, but it makes sense to me because I don't know how else you end that kind of movie without it almost falling into a trope. I don't think
Mm.
this man really wants to change. And
I don't think there was any change in his future. No, there was just him
well,
being rich.
and that's what I mean. You know, like
Yeah.
any change that could have happened, one, we never saw him really want, and two, it wasn't going to happen by the end of the film.
Right.
Yeah, I did, and I would have been shocked too if he had won, and then it just ended like on him winning. I didn't see that either. But again,
So,
yeah, that's we already did that.
yeah, we did.
Um,
So,
yeah,
so, okay. Sorry, sidebar. You watched the beginning of Karate Kid Part 2.
I did.
So you saw the way that the movie was originally supposed to end, which is like bloody-handed Kreese in the parking lot after Miyagi gives him the little side move.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
Um, let's see. What did I think? I wasn't expecting to talk about that. So
Yes, I
Walter,
wasn't either.
I'll start with Walter. He wanted it added on. He was like, "Yes, keep that." And I said, "No, I trust that they ended it correctly. I like that the focus is on Miyagi."
Mhm.
Um, when you I was I'm sorry. I was watching the first 10 minutes and I went, "Jeff, the first 5 minutes is a recap of the first movie." And
I
you said
kind of forgot about that. Yeah,
you said the next 10 minutes then.
yeah, I forgot that they did that.
And
In my head, it just starts with him in the shower.
yeah.
Like that's where I thought the movie started. So my bad.
So,
Um,
it's hard. Okay, here's what I'm struggling. I guess the same thing with like, although not same, it's hard to say you liked something when it is when what has happened in front of you isn't good. I didn't like seeing Kreese again, but I did love seeing him getting his fist mangled because that's what
mhm.
he fucking deserves.
Right,
And more.
right.
Um I hated that the dudes were already bullying him again in the shower. I just wanted to be like, oh god. See, maybe that's actually no, that's not the only good thing about social media because people bully on there too. Ugh, you can't win. Humans
I
suck.
mean, not if you bet on the Celtics, apparently.
Oh my god. This movie also made me realize why I don't actually want rich people problems. I'm scared that more money just makes you stupid.
Well, I mean, it certainly doesn't help. Not in this
Like,
movie.
it's like the human mind. Maybe the human mind is kind of like a bank account in that it should only have so much money in it before you need to hire someone to manage all that money. And when you need
Right.
to hire someone, that's when I don't know what severs, but something happens because I mean, it was just so stupid. He kept making so many dumb choices. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
that comes from the gambling addiction of it all, but I'm like, you have too much money. And the
I
other
don't.
people I don't know, go ahead.
Yeah. So, um, ah, I wanted to follow up on that, but I did want to say that, like, if this movie had ended with him winning, it's just a sports movie, right? And that's kind of what I thought I was watching. I thought I was watching an underdog overcome all of the odds and win at the end.
But
Like
he's not an
that's,
underdog.
but he is because he's in this system that he is on the lowest rung of,
Oh my
right?
god.
Like he owns this jewelry shop, but it is um it's not one of the big ones. It's
Yeah.
a very small jeweler. Um, he's got these fucking Furbies or whatever.
Oh my
Um,
god. Haunt my
and he's
dreams.
I know, right? But their eyes move.
Nope.
Um, yeah, I don't want it either. But he's striving. Like the whole
Okay.
time. He is trying like that's why the like when uh what's the Keith Stanfield's character's name? Um it is sorry.
That's fine.
D, I think. Damani. Um, when Damani brings in Kevin Garnett, he's like, Howard,
Yeah. Howard.
yeah, Howard is like he's falling all over himself to impress Kevin Garnett because Kevin Garnett is famous and he's an amazing basketball player and he's rich and it it's aspirational
Mm,
for Howard to get in the same circles as people like Garnett, people who are in the entertainment industry with millions of dollars that can help him level up,
got it.
right? And he's like he's he's constantly striving, trying to turn this getting this win to turn it into more money to cover this loss, to build on this, and he's got this black opal, this key to that next level, that what he's aspiring to get that level of respect that he doesn't get from his wife and he doesn't get from Judd Hirsch and he doesn't get from his brother-in-law who wants to kick his ass because he owes him money and shit. Um, like he's he's a hustler
Yeah.
and constantly just making the worst decision and also getting fucked by people because he thought he hit that big bet early,
Mhm.
right? Like when he first gave him the gem, he's like, he's gonna go off tonight. I can see it. I'm gonna bet. And then the guy he owes money to goes in and cancels the bet behind him so he doesn't win it. Which was that was my reaction. When that happened, I was like, oh no. Like
Yeah.
that sucks. Like it's what fucking Nat did, right? When Nat didn't place Brandon's bet. It's the same,
Oh, yeah,
right?
but that didn't feel as intentional.
Well, I mean, no, it wasn't. But I mean, it's the same thing where Brandon thought he won this big bet. I mean, $150 versus whatever the fuck Howard's up to. Um, and Nat paid him off to make Nat felt really bad. I screwed your bet up. This guy didn't feel bad. He screwed his bet up. But to think that you had won a big prize and to
Yeah.
have it yanked away from you is like, and then to like have this like hot side piece and like catches her trying to fuck the weekend and
Yeah.
then he tries to like mend things with his wife kinda and she's like your face is stupid and I never want to see it again. like this guy is constantly being just like it. You thought Rocky took some punishment. Like it's tough out there for a Howard, and so he could finally get this massive victory. Like he was proved right
Mm,
when every other time he was proved wrong. And
yeah.
so it could have ended with him winning and it would have been a an underdog sports movie. but that wasn't what this thing was.
No. This
Yeah.
this felt like, and I can't believe this keeps coming up in my brain. Their synchronicity. But again, it kind of reminds me of Requiem for a Dream. Like, you know, not so much in that you think good things are going to happen to these people. No, not really. But these, all the main people are aspiring for something. They are
Mm-hmm.
working towards something better, and they all get taken down a completely horrible path instead, and it's awful. Like,
Yeah.
it's tough watching storylines that are ambition can kill you, because, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it can,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a really tough watch.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing with this movie is that, like, I was reading the reviews, just doing a quick little skim through Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a 91% critic rating.
Yeah.
It has a 52% fan rating. And all of the reviews are basically stressful, tense, like overload. Like, and even the people who didn't like it in that 91% were like, this movie does exactly what it intends to do. I don't ever want to go through this again. Like, like that's, yeah. And I think that's why it's got such a low score for fans, because the fans are watching it and all they're left with is how fucking exhausted they are at the end of this movie. I don't like the way I feel at all. That movie was terrible. But the truth is, I don't like the way I feel at all because that movie was great. Like, it did exactly what it intended to do.
Yeah, which is something I've struggled with in the days since I watched it, because I thought, I can't say whether or not this is good. I can only say whether or not I liked it. And that's not the same
Right.
thing.
No,
So
definitely not.
now I'm wondering, not that we're like movie critics or anything, but clearly we have like skin in the game in a way. Like, how do you go from what I'm describing to, I can look beyond my emotions for the most part and view this critically and tell you if it's good or not, regardless of how it made me feel.
Um, so the way you put that is weird because I don't think that that's what you want to do as a critic.
Well,
I
no,
don't
like,
think I
sorry,
don't
feel
think you want to go ahead. Sorry.
no, it's okay. I just, because obviously you are supposed to feel something from what you
Mm-hmm.
view. Like, I just think it can't be the main. I think you have to critique a movie from the head and not the heart.
I see. I think it has to be both.
Okay.
Like that's what I was saying. Like, I think that you need to like, did this work for me? Like,
Mm,
did like, were the characters compelling? Did the story make sense? Were the performances good? um like, just the technical pieces of, like, how did the sound design work? What did the the cinematography, like the colors, like all of those technical pieces that go together to make whether a movie is technically proficient, technically good. That's one thing. Did this do a thing to the audience that it was intending to do? Even if that thing is unfucking pleasant, did
yeah.
it do it? And I think you need both of those things. Like, I don't ever want to watch Schindler's List again
No.
because of how it makes me feel. It's horrible to watch that movie, but that movie is a brilliant piece of cinema. So
Yes.
I don't think you can watch it and go, Spielberg did a really good job with that, but I hate it because I feel bad. You know, like,
You're also going to sound like an asshole saying, I hated Schindler's List.
well, that's true. What if you make out during it, like Seinfeld?
Oh my God. What?
You never saw that episode?
I did.
Oh my god, it's so funny. His parents are visiting, and staying at his house, and he has his girlfriend, and there's no time alone. And they go to a movie, and they go to see Schindler's List, and it's dark, and it's a long movie, and it's the only time they've had alone, and they make out during Schindler's List.
Damn,
I
that's
know it's rough. It's pretty rough, but it's very funny. So, anyhow, the but I think the way, like, the fact that I left this movie when I saw it in the theaters feeling exhausted was the point.
yeah.
Like, that's part of why this movie is great, because it does that to you. That's what they were trying to do, and boy, do they do it. Um, and so that's why I think a critic can look at it and go, "That was really good. I'm kind of okay if I don't experience that again, but that was really effective." Whereas a fan goes, "I hate the way I feel right now. That movie was terrible."
Well, maybe I'm better at this than I thought I was. Um,
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't know. I was so hung up on like I don't know how to talk about this film, and
Right.
and again, it's just making me realize more and more how like when people talk about things, it's it's like to say I didn't like it. People immediately go to it was bad. No, that's not it.
Mhm.
It's like there are multitudes, people.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's not like, if we're gonna come here and talk about a movie for an hour, it's real boring if one of us is like, I didn't like it, and that's it.
Yeah,
Like, if we watch something and I don't like it, I have to sit there and think, what didn't I like about it? You know,
yeah,
like,
it was
what
loud.
about this didn't work? It was way too fucking loud. Romeo and Juliet equals loud. Um, or this movie had like an entirely superfluous love story in first act. Thanks a lot, Pearl Harbor. Um,
Pearl Harbor's
you
great.
know,
It's
Pearl Harbor,
greatly bad.
it's so bad. Oh, what if one of our airmen died? Um, it's ridiculous.
You're gonna be a father.
No, you are. I forgot about the "No, you are" fart ending of the movie.
Did you? Oh my god.
Go back and listen to our Pearl Harbor episode, everybody, if you want to understand why there's a new fart ending to that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, so this movie, though, I think it works really, really well because it makes me feel like I'm standing in the general store waiting for a table at the Cracker Barrel,
Oh god.
which we know is my least favorite thing on the planet, because that fucking Cracker Barrel is too loud. There's too much chaos. There's too many people going all the directions. I can't handle it. I can't take that environment. It really stresses me out. I don't like IKEA. Same reason. Um,
Mm, fair.
Walmart, I don't like because the parking lot is fucking Thunderdome. Every Walmart you go to, it is death in a Walmart parking lot.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah, Laura suggested Walmart. No, I dislike Walmart for different reasons.
Oh, okay.
But
I was like, wait a minute. I wasn't gonna say it, but thank you for clarifying.
yeah, no, she was just like Walmart. I'm like, well, yes, um, but this movie, part of I think why it makes me so tense, but it's the way that they ratchet the tension up in this movie is by constantly interrupting him, constantly having people talk over him, making him yell, making him hold three conversations at the same time, while there's like trying not to get shot by this guy and trying to sneak a bag out the window to place a bet with this guy, and the fucking door won't open and you got to put the shavings in it. I mean, everything in this movie is designed to make you feel tense.
Yeah.
And it works. I mean, it for me it works so well. I honestly, before realizing that we kind of needed to watch this to go along with Brandon's gambling addiction, I had no intention of ever watching this movie again.
Oh
Like,
God, I'm sorry.
I no, I mean, I liked it, but I remember how I felt, and I'm like, I'm good. But like, I don't know how you watched it, but I watched it on like Tubi or Luby or Juby or something, where there's commercials. Like they
Oh,
just
okay,
it's freebie. I don't know free. I don't know what it's called. But there's commercial breaks in
got it.
it, and
Wow.
that yeah, and that is um, it's counterproductive to the movie. Like
Yeah.
so, it made it less stressful this time. One, because I knew what was happening. I knew what was going to happen. I'd seen this movie, but it still really stresses you out, like to watch it. But then, like it, like and then it's like, hey, here, buy Ren Vogue or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
like there's just then they stick commercials and you get like a 1 minute breather, and then you're like back in it again. But that 1 minute breather breaks that tension. And without those commercials, this movie, there are no breaks in the tension.
I
Like
mean,
it's just,
we were able to watch it without breaks, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there are no breaks in this. It's just fascinating
mm-hmm.
how you can keep a story going like that. Because sometimes when they have, say, a story that takes place over like 48 hours or something, you're like, okay, so look at Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like that's a lot of craziness in a couple days.
Yeah.
Sure, okay. But then this, it's just jam packed, and you're like, the New York being the background, you know, that totally like makes it more believable. And then, I mean, again, him working in jewelry and or just the business he's trying to build and like how he's
Mm-hmm.
running his business, and then the interactions he has with people, like, those little things help build up the belief that, oh, all this could happen in one go.
Yeah. And and even though his decisions are ridiculous, they're indefensible. The things that he's like robbing Peter to pay Paul and all of this shit.
Yeah.
There are some things he does that cause him nothing but stress, but you also understand why he did it. Like bringing out the opal and showing it to KG.
Yeah.
Like he's got to show this thing off. Look what I just got. This is like my ticket. I'm so excited. I can show you. You'll understand. And then when KG's like, "Let me borrow this," and he's he has to say yes
Yeah.
because he needs that cachet. Like he's looking to step up, and and if you don't let him borrow it, it shows that you're small time.
Yeah.
You know, so he does the smart thing. Give me your ring for collateral, uh, and that works. And then he goes and fucking pawns the ring, and then it's like, oh my god, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Um, and
Me
then
the whole
and then
time.
yeah, and then he's like, then he needs the fucking opal back, and so he starts chasing, but all of the chasing makes him look small time,
Yeah.
and he gets into the and he keeps being stopped by bouncers. Like I'm with him. Can somebody like the whole thing at the weekend thing, and like a couple of other plays at the Celtics practice facility where he
Oh,
couldn't get back. Like he's just being blocked all the time.
yeah.
And so he just keeps doing things. And then when KG is like, let me hang on to it again, he's like, but he has to do it. He has to do it because he wants the cachet. And then he also knows what comes of it. Like
Yeah.
he knows how fueled this dude is. And so while it's all of the shit he does is ridiculously bad decision making, you also understand why. It makes sense. I'm not saying I would do it,
Yeah.
you know, um, but I understand. You know, like, and that's the like that whole conversation he has right before placing the bet with KG in his back office, and where he's like, oh, you're gonna, you paid them so much, and you're gonna make, I can pay you 175, but you wanted to make 1 million off the backs of these poor Ethiopian Jews who are in this rock mine. And he's like, yeah, I've seen the way you play basketball, dude. Like, when
Mm,
you're up by 30, you put your foot on somebody's neck. You don't let up. I don't let up. This is how, I'm not an athlete. This is how I win.
yeah.
And it's understandable.
Yeah.
Like, because he's just trying to grab what he sees as the American dream.
Yeah. It's true.
And he's shot in the fucking head. You
Yeah.
know? Like, and that's why it's so fucking heartbreaking. Because you're like, he did it. He got there. His all of this ridiculous shit that has not worked. He was naked in a trunk yesterday.
Oh
You
my
know?
God.
And like, he played it. He played it perfectly. And then he didn't. And so it's, like, it's the worst way to relieve the tension in that
Yeah.
movie, but it's effective. I mean, it
And
takes you
again,
from this to
yep.
so.
I get it. That's what I get. I'm like, I get why this ended the way it did.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me. Um, do you have this movie was filled with adventures, but were there any adventures in intimacy?
There were some, it was, there were definitely some. Like, one would have come in handy. I noticed, it being a newer thing, they didn't. They're
It's
not
awesome. The
required.
whole movie was made for $19 million.
Is
That's
that,
I read that. That's like nothing. Like,
oh,
I think
okay.
the entire budget of the movie is less than Adam Sandler's normal pay.
Got it.
Yeah, shoestring.
Yeah, well, when it's shoestring, we know there won't be an icy person.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, some things I noted. Um, let's see. Cuddling post fight. Who was cuddling
Oh,
post?
was it her
Oh,
after?
it was when he first goes in and is yelling at his side piece and her
Yeah,
friend in the bed, and they're
yeah.
just yelling at each other, and then all of a sudden they're like perfectly fine. And see, this is why I'll never be like full New Yorker, because I don't know how you go from yelling at someone and being mad to just being like, oh, blah, 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 but then still kind of yelling at each other, but like, shh. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't want to. I don't want to achieve that level. Um, but there's such a there has to be so much rapport built between the actors, like, to get that, again, just beautiful natural blend of like
Hmm.
interaction with each other. It's the same thing that you would need in having the actors have all the lines over each other. Let's see. I'm trying to do the the easy ones first. Fuck it. We'll just go through my. So, we have a scene where she's walking around the apartment and she strips down to lingerie, and it's filmed as if she's being watched, you
Hmm.
know, and then she begins to touch herself. And I was thinking about, obviously that if not like a choreographer in the moment, like at least a consultation or a discussion beforehand of like,
Sure.
okay, like, yes, I'm being watched, but like, is Adam Sandler actually going to be there? Is this going to be a close up? What's happening?
Right. Right.
How long am I doing this to myself?
Right. Hmm.
Like, because there would definitely be some directors who would be like, just go for it. We'll tell you when to stop.
Yeah.
No.
You
Um,
tell us when to stop. We'll be listening for the. So.
yeah, inappropriate, fired. If only. Maybe sometimes. So yeah, I thought a lot about like timing in that moment, just needing
Mm.
to know, like, one, and it's shot at different times, so when Adam Sandler comes out is kind of irrelevant, to how long he needs to stay in there watching her.
Right.
That's
Mhm.
that's different. And maybe with him watching her, like you play with like what is his breathing doing? They
Mhm.
didn't add that, but it's something they could have done. You
Yeah.
see the light reflected in his glasses, and maybe that's all you need to see. But if you wanted to enhance it, or I don't know, add something, you play with breath.
Mm.
Um,
Breasts?
no,
Oh, I
breath,
misunderstood.
breath is.
Yes,
Thank you.
of course.
Oh, the stripping someone, like that was sexual violence there. Like
Which where was this? I'm trying to
when
remember this
when
part.
they stripped him, when they were like, take his
Oh,
shirt,
oh,
take his pants, like,
lock
you
him in
know,
the trunk. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's I don't think it's something that people would think falls under sexual violence, but like you're forcing someone to disrobe
Hmm.
and
Oh,
you're
for sure.
locking them away. Like, if it can be a kink, it can also be sexual violence.
Yeah, for sure.
Edict.
Boom.
So yeah, that one was wild. Yeah, that I don't have anything more on at least on the stripping and sexual violence part. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
have anything to add to that?
I not about the intimacy, but I thought uh how smart of him to call his wife to come and pop the trunk. Like,
See,
even though you're going to get in massive trouble, like that's the easiest way out of this situation. And he went for the path of least resistance, which is sort of his move, I guess. But
so I went dark first, of course. Because like he's calling her, and I looked at Walter and I was like, dumbass man doesn't know you're supposed to knock out the headlight.
oh, sure. Yeah.
Stupid man. You
I
aren't
know.
taught that like we are. But then I realized, oh wait, no, that's not going to get him out. That's just going to like that's what you do if the car's moving. If you're just sitting in a parking
So you
lot,
can,
like you kind of
right.
need to do something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, and then I thought, where'd you get extra clothes?
Right. Was it his car? They might have just been in his trunk. But no, he gets out naked.
Well, he gets out naked, but I mean, he does make it back into the theater. So I was just like, where did
Yeah.
these clothes from? Someone throw in a line. Adina, you can improv, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I really liked the scene, but where they're in the kitchen, uh, Adam Sandler and Adina Menzel, and their daughter walks in, and he's mouthing off, or not mouthing off. He's saying he's gonna like leave, and her and the daughter shared this look of just really, like it
Mhm.
was brilliant. It was pointed, like they didn't care if he saw it, but it was also subtle enough, like kept it in the eyes.
Yeah.
And
He'll say nothing. He just gives you that look.
yeah, and it showed that they have a very mature relationship. Like like this daughter's maybe had to grow up faster than she should have because her mom maybe needed someone to vent to. I don't
Right.
know,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's something more than just mother and daughter there, or like they're close in a
Mhm.
way that suggests maturity more than the teenager has. But then then you see him interact with her, and he's talking like it's not that he's talking down to her, but he's doing that thing that adults do when they talk to teenagers, like, I know you're not a little kid, but I still
Right.
don't know, like you're still a kid, so I should
Yeah.
slow things down and talk a certain way, and
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe it'll entice you and still think I'm cool and lovable. No, okay, well, I'm just gonna go do my own thing then. Enjoy your cake.
I'll just go fuck myself then, shall I? Is that what I should do,
Yeah,
teenager?
pretty.
I'll do that. I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna fuck myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really, I liked that. And then of course I wrote it down as Coke teas. Oh,
Nice.
and of course, because at first I thought Coke cheese, that's funny, but now the images came back to me of just like, I thought it was so cool how he kept trying to go in and she was like, mm-mm. Like,
Mhm.
that felt like that did feel choreographed. So whoever had a hand in that, it was cool. Um, Obviously, more is implied to have happened. We don't see
Mhm.
it, but honestly, the more interesting part was her evading him and teasing him.
Mhm. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Uh, would you like to go to Needle Drop Forest? It's a little quieter.
Is it? I mean, the weekend is
Well,
pretty chill, so that makes sense.
it's quieter than literally every other thing that happened in this movie. It's a forest for God's sake. Uh, yeah, I mean, I think the weekend is the thing here. Like
Yeah.
that's the music you have to talk about in this movie. And I was reading up on it, and so like they set this movie in like 2012, and the
Oh,
weekend got cast first, and so then they needed to find an actor who or a player who was at the top of their game in 2012, like
got it.
to like so Kevin Garnett was cast after the weekend was cast because they wanted someone who could have been in New York when the weekend was doing these kind of little shows there, like on
Okay.
coming up. um but I don't, where do you stand on the weekend?
Um, his music's really sexy, you know,
Hmm?
like I haven't heard a lot of it. Like when I listened to the radio more than I would have, it's definitely on some soundtracks. Like it's alluring. It's I like it. I haven't really gotten to explore much of his catalog.
Yeah,
So I don't feel like I can really speak to it, but I like what I've heard so far.
I'm kind of the same way. Like I feel um like I feel like maybe he's not considered super, like there's like a level of like hip hop R&B stardom,
Yeah.
and that he's not quite at that level, but he's
Yeah.
like, so like he's not seen as like that level elite or whatever. But all the stuff of his I've heard, like that I Can't Feel My Face song is fucking awesome.
I
It's
know.
a great song. And I think that I would very much enjoy the Weekend concert,
I think I would
because
too.
like I just, the vibe of the music and the whole atmosphere, I would be, that feels like, yes, sign me up for that. Now,
No.
not this version of a weekend. I don't want to be up that late on a Thursday, whatever day it
Oh my
was.
god, no.
It was too much. Um, but if it's not that club, boom, boom,
No.
that I don't want that. But what I imagine a weekend show to be is something I'm quite interested in. But also, it may just be exactly like that. Like, what the fuck do I know?
That's the sad thing. I feel like a lot of those events cuz we've wanted to go to either club like things or places, dance events, and they will inevitably start at 11 p.m. And I'm sorry, I'm not in college anymore. Oh, wait, I didn't even like doing that in college. I don't like starting my night at 11 p.m. 11 p.m., I'm like, all right, it's time to like start thinking about getting home.
Oh, and guess what? At 11 p.m., you're waiting another hour and a half for Rihanna to come out, or whoever.
Yeah.
Like, they're not coming out at 11. Like, that's not how this works,
Like,
So you just got to be in.
I
You know who I should have said instead of Rihanna, because I've heard infamously that is the way it's like at an Erica Badu concert.
see, I
Like,
heard Lauren Hill is very late.
yeah, I think I've heard that as well. Um, but yeah, like Erica Badu, I think is notorious for like showing up to like walking on stage 2 hours after she was supposed to, and people are just like, "I'm here for it." Like,
Yeah,
I knew
like,
I
oh,
knew this was the deal when I got here, so I'm totally here for it.
And that's why you make sure you have awesome opening acts, or that the opening act knows you're going to be doing your own concert for like 2 hours. I'll get here when I
Yeah,
get here.
put a DJ out there. Like when I saw Snoop, um, which was super fun. Um, like there was an opening act in that, like there was a DJ out there just playing stuff. Like it was like you were at a club,
Nice.
and there was somebody up there just spinning. Um, but I mean, he could have gone on forever and ever, like just doing that. And I don't think he came out like super late or anything. I think it was because it wasn't like it was like a normal venue that has like a curfew. you
Yeah.
know, it wasn't like a secret upstairs venue that lots of stuff happens at or whatever.
I think
So
the only way I could get excited about being out that late again is like I have to be in a show to
mm,
be able or to be enticed to go out and like cuz you finish a show, you're like, "Great, cool. I want to do stuff." Like,
you got
you know,
energy, yeah,
I did my job today.
right, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of the reason why um, NBA players like go out to clubs and like go to bed at 4 a.m. because their job ended at 11:30.
Wow.
Like the game tipped off at 8. After the shower and the coaches and the shit, it's 11 o'clock, and you just played 2.5 hours of basketball. Like you are keyed up. It's
Yeah.
not like you can, and you're in a different city. It could be a home game, but whatever. You're in a different city. Like, and what are you going to do? Go back to the hotel room and not fall asleep? So
Yeah.
they have to do stuff. They have to go out and and there's a lot of different decisions you can make, to do that. Um, and I there's with video games now, like a lot of guys will just go play video games. Um, but there was like, of course, you're not going to bed at 12:30 because you just got off work at 11.
Yeah.
You know, it does not. Here's the only way you could get me to do this shit. Um, uh, Send a car.
Yes.
I don't want to park anywhere. I don't want to try to find a spot when I get home. I don't want to send a car, and the car will take me home, and that's the only way I'm doing this.
I don't want to be I don't want to be trapped somewhere because, oh, wait, the trains aren't working or they're delayed something.
Right.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, I forgot it's a Saturday and I shouldn't have left Queens because there ain't no getting back to Queens.
Right. Yeah. Yep. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Send a car.
But yeah, I was gonna say you have to give me parking, but the parking isn't even enough. I need a car.
Yeah.
You know, I got this fucking black Opal. I could pay for a car. I'll let you borrow it.
I'll get you a tow.
All
Get
right.
you a tow back. Yeah.
Yes, right. I mean, finishing my coffee. Um. All right. What else time? Um. Is this anyone's defining role?
For right now, it may be Julia Fox's defining role because this looked like the biggest
I
thing
don't. Yeah,
on her IMDb.
it's probably all I've seen her in. Um. Yeah, it's not Adam Sandler's. I mean, it's his best dramatic role by far. I mean, he was. I know there was a. I can't remember if he got. I think he got nominated for best
Yeah.
actor for this movie, but he didn't win. But did you see? It was fucking adorable when he was nominated. That Kathy Bates, who played his mama in Waterboy, was like she put out a statement about how proud she was of her, and he was like, "Oh, mama," like it was
Aww.
super cute. It was so cute. I was like, I love all of that. Give me more of that.
Love Kathy Bates.
I do too. Foosball is the devil. Um, I mean, with the exception of being like a multiple time All Star and MVP, NBA champion and whatnot, like this is Kevin Garnett's defining role as an actor. Um, I don't
You
think I've
know,
seen him
I
do anything else.
completely forgot until he started playing. I was like, oh, Jeff said that there was a real ball player in this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm sorry, Kevin Garnett. I had no idea who you were.
That's so funny.
I know.
He's the 6'11" guy in the room. Like, that didn't tip you off that he's just massively taller than everybody else?
No, because I don't know. There's one, he kept leaning over,
Don't lean on the
which
counter. Don't lean on the glass.
I don't. And I realized too, I bet some of that was like, it's such a small space. We can only get so far back. Kevin, we need you to lean down. Like,
Yeah, he's got to
like,
get in the shot. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah. And
We've
also, it gives you the
we've
bit
lost
where he
Kevin's
breaks
head
the
again.
glass. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
We got from here down. That's all we got. Um, one of the things I thought that was interesting in sort of reading up about this was, um, they it was serendipitous, this Kevin Garnett thing, because
Oh,
the shooting of the movie moved back to the fall, and because it moved back from the fall, they couldn't hire a current NBA player. They had to have somebody who was retired. So Garnett had just retired, and they needed someone who was active and really good at this time that the weekend was doing stuff. So around like 2012 or whatever. And then they needed games that played out the way they do in this movie, which is
mm.
like high stakes game that he plays really, really well in because he's got the opal, and then one that he plays like shit in, and then one where he plays transcendently. And all three of those games were games 5, 6, and 7 of that playoff series. So they really happened in that order, just like that.
Wow.
That was real footage of like this is what happened. So I thought that was like it all came together, and then also Garnett is a stone, and like that wasn't on purpose, but
Oh.
what a happy little
Oh yeah,
accident
yeah.
that is. You know what
Yeah.
I
I
mean?
know, I did think
Like,
that was cool.
yeah. So I thought that was fun. What else you got?
Oh boy.
I have a couple more things, but
I noticed that the play the daughter was in was The Little Man Who Cried Wolf. Like,
okay.
I think that's what it said on the poster, and I thought it was going to mean more. I'm not sure it
No,
did.
probably not.
But I thought, I like noting things like that just in case.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
But I
fun.
think I
It's
would
like,
have to
oh, look at
see it.
that little background piece of information. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is cool. Um, have you seen the movie Marathon Man?
No.
This is that Dustin Hoffman, Laurence Olivier movie that has Troy acting Dear Boy or whatever.
Yes.
It's from that. Um, I watched that movie. So this movie came out. Uncut Gems was 2019. So I probably watched Marathon Man during the pandemic. Couple years later. And I watched it because it's set in the Diamond District in New York in
Ah,
like 1971 or whatever. And it's a really good movie. Sometimes I get in that like, oh, I've never seen this movie that people say is great. Let me watch it.
yeah.
And um, that movie, they feel like they're set in the same place,
Oh.
like 40 years apart. Almost 50 years apart. Uh, these two movies make that Diamond District place feel exactly the same.
Hmm.
Like it is that frenetic. It's that kinetic. There's that much going on. There's that much crosstalk. There's that buzz. You got to get buzzed into the place. Like it felt very similar. Marathon Man is a different. It doesn't have this kind of tension like built this way, but it is like it's a tense movie, and it's great. I recommend it. Like it's totally worth watching. But it's interesting to see it having seen this
Yeah.
and be like, oh yeah, this world hasn't changed in 50 years. Like there's
No.
cell phones now where you can send videos of yourself masturbating to your boyfriend, but kind of it,
And for some people that's enough.
Well, and here's the other thing. That 5-6 years ago, um, his phone was so small. Like, did you notice that when she sends him the video and he clicks on his and the thumbnail is real tiny and the
You
phone in
know
his
what's
hand is
crazy?
very
I
small?
didn't, and I should have. Like, I normally am so like sensitive to those little changes to show you it's a different time. Went over my head.
Yeah, it looks like an iPhone 4. Like like it's smaller than what they are now. Um, so yeah, 50 years from Marathon Man to that phone, 6 years from that phone to man, that phone looks tiny.
Yeah.
So things
And now
speed
we're
up.
back to bricks.
Yeah, we are. Okay, I have a question for you.
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to give you four choices,
Okay.
one of which neither one of us has seen, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Who was the better NBA player in a movie? Okay. Kevin Garnett as Kevin Garnett, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as Roger Murdoch, co-pilot. You have a look on your face that says I haven't seen Airplane, and that's
Oh no! It's because I don't. I've only seen it like. Have I seen it once or twice? I think I've only seen it once.
wow. Okay, this is a situation. Um, Ray Allen as Jesus Shuttleworth, which is by far the best name of any of these things.
Yeah.
Uh, in the movie He Got Game, which is a movie I know you haven't seen, and it's a movie I have not seen. It's a movie I should see at some point. It's Spike Lee. Public Enemy did the soundtrack, which is I'm all in for that. Or Shaq as Neon in Blue Chips.
Shaq is neon and blue chips.
Okay, Shaq's really good in Blue Chips.
I
Shaq,
was just so surprised.
yeah, he's I mean, he's no Matt Nover, let's be real, but he was good in Blue Chips. Shaq is like he's in a bunch of movies where he's just Shaq, you know, and
Yeah.
that's fine. Even when he's a genie, he's just Shaq.
Even when he's beating Aaron Carter at basketball, he's just Shaq.
He's just Shaq. I've heard that Ray Allen is great in He Got Game, like really, really good. And Kevin Garnett is pretty great in this.
He
Like
is good.
he doesn't seem like a basketball player trying to act. He seems like a basketball player in like doing these things in real life.
I think that's why I forgot. Excuse me. I think that's why I forgot he was a basketball player because he just seemed so natural in what he was doing.
Yeah. But of course the answer is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as Roger Murdoch. Tell your old man to drag Walton and Near up and down the court for 48 minutes.
I'm kind of glad you didn't offer anyone from the Space Jam movies.
Here's the thing. I don't like Michael Jordan. I never have.
Okay.
He's obviously like the greatest basketball player ever. I don't like him. I was a Detroit Pistons fan because Isaiah Thomas went to Indiana and then was on the Pistons. And they and the Bulls had a huge rivalry and all of that stuff. And Jordan was obviously better and he was ascending, but he had to like overcome the Pistons. So I was like cheering for the Pistons the whole time. And then he just turns out to be like just the most petty motherfucker on the planet. Like if he doesn't have an actual reason to hate you, he will create one so that he has fuel to beat you.
Damn.
And then he holds these grudges. I mean, go watch that Jordan documentary, which is great, but he is petty and spiteful, and I'm not interested.
Got it.
So I never was going to see Space Jam, and I don't buy Nike because I don't want to give Michael Jordan any money. He's got enough. So didn't see Space Jam when it came out. And then this new one with LeBron in it came out, and I saw parts of it, and I was like, this looks dumb. I mean, it's fine, I guess. Like, it's a cartoon, and that's fine.
I don't like Space Jam.
Yeah, I wasn't going to. Plus, also, Michael Jordan he's not any good as an actor.
No.
And neither is LeBron. Like, they're out there playing basketball with Bugs Bunny. It's like, there's not really acting.
LeBron was funny in Trainwreck. At least I think that was LeBron.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
I'm trying
funny in
to
that.
remember what movie that was that he was in, but no, he was good in that. You're right. I could have gone with that. Um, but I just this performance is really really good, and it ranks right up there with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as Roger Murdoch.
I'm gonna have to look that up after because I feel really
Yeah.
bad that I don't remember.
Here's something. I mean, you know what? I'll save this airplane tidbit for when we watch Airplane. For
Yay!
I know exactly when we can watch Airplane.
Oh no! Is it soon?
It is middle of season 4.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's not too far because we're almost done recording season 3. So, um,
Whew.
I don't know. It's probably I don't know 20 weeks from now, give or take.
Wow. What will life be like
You know,
20 weeks from now?
I don't know. We'll be watching Airplane. That's what it'll be like.
Yeah.
Um, all right. What is this the EST of for you?
Um this this has the most bad decisions in one
Oh,
movie ever.
yeah. Bad decisions per second is really high in this movie.
Which again, like that's part of why I kept getting so annoyed and fed up with it. I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm sick of watching people make bad decisions."
Yeah. This one dude over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
like okay, for me this is the most stressful movie going experience of my life. Like
yeah.
just the tensest I've ever been in a movie theater was seeing this.
Yeah.
Um there's a Ben Mankiewicz, do you know who that is from Turner Classic Movies?
I'm sure I do.
Yeah, he's got a couple of podcasts. They're both really, really good. Um, but he does one called Talking Pictures, where he interviews people and they have a whole conversation. But at the end, he's got these 8 questions that he always asks them, like in rapid fire. And one of them is, "What's your most memorable movie going experience?"
Mm.
And he asks things like, like what movie did you love in high school? What's your mom's favorite movie? What's your dad's favorite movie?
Oh, that's fun.
Stuff. Yeah, it's really interesting because it gives you and what movie, if you were trying to if you were interested in someone, would you show them to see if they were on the same, that kind of thing. But uh your most memorable movie going experience, this might be it for me. How tense I was in this movie. I remember it
Wow.
in my cells. Like I remember it in my body how tense this movie made me. And I don't have that kind of experience in most other movies I've gone to see that I've liked better. And I like this one quite a bit, but um super fucking tense.
See, now I'm thinking of mine, and the thing that's sticking out strongest to me is Avengers Endgame.
Oh, that was that when the people started coming back, on your left and all of that.
So, well, yes, but here's the thing, real quick, because like from the start of the movie, when they said when that 5 years later came up, I quite audibly went, "What?"
Of course. Yeah.
And the movie, and there was some laughter, there was some responses, but yeah, from that, and then the people, yeah, the on your left, and then the very end. This
Yeah,
was
yeah.
lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Walter and I were both crying.
Yeah. No, I saw that theater was packed when I saw it.
I
And
have a few of them.
there were that whole sequence where everybody was coming back. It was like one cheer after another, even though it's
Yeah.
coming. On your left, and everybody was like, "Yes!" And Black Panther walks out, and then when Spider-Man came back, the place blew up. If you
Yeah.
had any doubt who everyone's favorite is, it was okay, the kid's back. Yeah, that was a really fun movie going experience too. So yeah, this might be that for me, EST wise. All right, once again, we have proven my theory that everything comes back to Aaron Spelling.
Even Uncut Gems.
Even this motherfucking black opal. Um, So join us here on Wednesday, Cheesemeisters, when we watch season 3, episode 24, Perfectly Perfect.
Oh my.
Yep. And
Hot in here?
these Peach Pit bathrooms will do it to you. Um, they're rough. Uh, I like one of the things you suggested to me as a movie because you were just looking up stuff, and I don't know if it's something you suggested or just one that you said we could. But I like the idea of watching Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
I do too. I'm really sad we don't we that woman of the hour won't work out, but I
Oh,
think this one sounds really compelling.
it's a good movie, and it's based on a true story.
Well, and
Like,
the fact that it's about the guy who came up with the dating game, I was like, go me.
yeah, and I didn't even think about it because it's more about like the Gong Show is more prominently featured in the movie than the dating game because he created both of those.
Oh,
So I think of it as Chuck Barris Gong Show, not Chuck Barris dating game. But it's perfect. It's a perfect connection, and it's a wild ass movie. Like it is.
oh great.
I mean, no, it's. I mean, I remember it being uh like, well, that was a ride.
Yes.
Like all of this is crazy. I kind of liked it.
All right.
Um, so yeah, so join us here next week, Cheesemeisters, when we watch Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Um, that'll be kind of fun. I've only seen that one once too.
Oh, cool.
I don't have nearly the body horror of it all, uh, but I liked it. So that'll be a fun one to watch. Um, but until then, Cheesemeisters, cheers.
Cheers.